The first focus that we want to take for sales scripting is events, networking events. You know, you've been to networking events, and it's one of those things where I think it's probably the least genuine experience that you can have because there's people that are coming for the free food. There are people that are just there to find someone and they're almost looking over your head to see if there's someone better and moving through the crowd. And then my least favorite are people who just stay in the corner and just talk to people that they know, and that's all that they do. You know, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be people that are there that are, doing different things, but I want you to be prepared and be able to have some fun at the event and then also know that you can walk away with a successful outcome. So I'm going to give you a few tips, and we're really going to focus on how to introduce yourself, how to start that conversation, and then how to talk about what you do and who you are, and finally create that successful exit so that you can continue the conversation via phone or in person or email. So let's get started. So I have some notes over here that I want to make sure if I'm looking over, that's what I'm doing. So one of the things that I need you to know is that your job is to offer value. So it's funny because you think a networking event is to go introduce yourself to people and work the crowd and get rid of your cards. But really what you're doing is looking for the people that need you and then looking for opportunities to offer your value, looking for places that your expertise is needed. So in order for you to do that, you have to know something about the person, and you have to sort of offer a little bait, some bait. You have to tell them about what you're doing so that they can respond and tell you what their needs are. You see, when you go to those events, they know what the deal is. You don't have to worry about being salesy. They understand that that's part of the deal. That's why it's called a networking event. What they want is to have a really genuine interaction with you. So let's get started on the scripting. Now, when you are talking, one of the most important things is you don't need to say, "Hi, I'm Liz Need and I'm a speaker." I keep saying this in every video, but that's really just not important information. Your name is important, and I suppose being a speaker is important, but really what you want them to know is what you're about. You want them to know that you're a good listener, you want them to kind of know your sense of humor and your style, and yes, you want them to know what you do, but that's not front and center. So here are some things that you can do. When you go up and you introduce yourself, and you can say, I've never seen you before. I'd love to connect with you. Can I introduce myself? Or, I'm Liz. And just smile. And, you could be in line, or you could walk up to a group of people and just say, "Hey, what's going on? I haven't met you before. I'm Liz Need." That's a way to do it. That's just the beginning. You have to have your backup ready. And I want you to listen for the things that I had to prepare for in order for these conversations to happen. Now, another thing that you could do is say, if the networking event is something that's based around something, you can say, "I'm really excited to hear from the speaker," or I've never been in this building before. Have you? And, ask them about their experience. Like, why are they here? Are you here with a group, or are you just here solo? Or you could ask them what they're looking for. You could say, "Hey, is there something specifically that you're looking for? Is this a networking group that you attend regularly? If it's your first time, what's your experience with this group? It looks like a lot of energy in the room." So just kind of asking them what their experience is and what they're here for can also be really good. When you're asking, let me tell you about some of the goals. So one of the important things, you want to know their name, you want to know what they do, you want to know kind of what their goals are for the year, what kind of business they have, not only so that you can patronize them, because you might just find that you want to buy something from them. And you also want to find out whether you can take their product and offer it to someone else. So make sure that you know those things. And remember, you're just listening now, and then you're going to download the template, figure it out, how you want to tailor this for you, and then you're going to shoot a video. So just go ahead and listen and learn from me now and kind of see how the words roll off my tongue, and then you're going to create your own script, something perfect for you. The other reason why you want to listen for these things is because you are going to listen for the value so you could follow up, because you could say something like, oh, that's really interesting. I just published an article. Could I send that to you? Or I have the perfect resource for you. I would love to connect you with a person or to send them a link to something. That means that you're listening and you'll become really good at it. I really think that most people are not super extroverted. And so they will really do well in this listening concept. Really important. Don't describe what you do right away. Let them ask you. I mean, you want to be able to, you can say something basic, but keep it simple. So say you're a health coach, or that you create vision boards, or that you're really into live streaming. Like, say that you're doing those things, but don't give the title and talk about your designations or anything like that, because that will seem less than genuine. You can talk about your most recent adventures, like a trip that you're taking, or some new equipment that you're investing in, or a big fat goal that you're working on, that you're in the middle of writing a book. Those kinds of things will really be interesting to them, and you're sharing who you are. It's another way, a better way, in my opinion, for sharing who you are. If you want to be able to try to work you want to be able to work some of the things that you are that might be of value to them into the conversation without outright saying them. So I might say something like, I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm still excited to meet new people. That's how I know I'm onto something good. And when I say that, I'm a tenured coach at this point. I want them to know that. I might say, oh yeah, I'm a speaker. I just most recently spoke at a SHRM event. Have you heard of them? Really quick. And I'm talking about what I'm doing. So maybe you have a workshop and you say, yeah, I'm a health coach and I'm doing this workshop right now. And you just talk about the workshop and don't talk about the content. Talk about how you found the location, or, you're putting together the workbook and it's really interesting. And maybe you turn it back to them and say, do you prefer to have a digital workbook or a print one? Just having the conversation and just getting to know the other person. And you can say, so that's my project. What big project are you doing this first quarter? And just listen for the opportunity. Also make sure that you know where they're located and remember their name. Everyone loves their name to be remembered. So here's some things that I don't want you to do. I don't want you to talk about yourself a lot. I don't want you to ask too many questions. Sometimes you can feel like you're being put on the spot. And here's my big one. Don't add them to a list unless they gave you permission. Really, really important, because who likes that? You feel like you're completely used. What you do need to do is decide as you're talking to this person whether or not they belong on your team, whether they're a person that you want to have in your community. Is there a love connection? Because if there's not, that's okay. You really need to make sure that you're not trying to marry every single person that's in the room. You also don't want to talk too much and get stuck there, because you can say to them, hey, you know what? I love talking to you. Could I have your card, and I'd love to set up a time to have coffee, or I'm totally going to email you after this. Could I have your information? And then you can move on and you can just wave and smile at the person across the room like, yes, we totally connected and we're going to talk later. It's so good. Make sure you say goodbye when you leave. When you leave, you got that permission, and then you tell them, I'm going to follow up with you. And when you do those things, you will create opportunities to add value. You could bring a gift. That's another thing that I do. I have cards and I say, hey, you know what? You're going to love this. I just want to give this to you. Maybe when I'm saying that I'm a speaker, I'll say, yeah, these are cards that I normally hand out to my audience. So here, I'll give this to you. I always carry a couple copies of books in my bag, because sometimes if it's a really good connection, I'll say, you know what? I just want to give this to you. I think you're really going to love it. If it's the right thing. Just think about how you can create an opportunity so they feel good when they're with you. So I hope this helps. Make sure this is just a guideline, just a conversation to get you started thinking about the kinds of things I want you to do and things that I don't want you to do. And even if you're not the total extrovert, you should still go to a networking event. You just never know what will happen. Don't just go for the free food. Don't just talk to the people that you know. Don't be afraid to go up and say hello, a networking event, or, just one of those events that where everybody's, together for a cause. it's implied that you're going to go up and you're going to meet new people. Just come ready. Come ready with the script and try it out on your friends. I say, is this really cheesy? Because that's the big thing for me. I want it to be natural. I want you to trust me. And I only want the people that need me. So that's my job, is to go out and find the people that need me, listen for the clues, and be ready to offer value.